Everyone, it's Froggy, and I'm back again with some more Requiescence. So I'm just going to go ahead and start. The leaves crunch softly under my boots, a pleasant sound that I'd almost forgotten even existed. When I glance over my shoulder to see what the cathedral looks like from out here, only a small portion of the stone structure is visible. The rest of it is hidden by the shadow of the tall trees. I'm not sure I'll ever get used to these bizarre changes in scenery. Bloody magic, shenanigans, pah! I tune out Damien's angry muttering and start to move forward through the thick woods. As we pick our way through the thick foliage, only the dim light of the moon filtering through the trees lights our path. It should be eerie, but the soft chirp of birds and the glow of fireflies all seem so real. If anything, it makes me feel at ease, like I finally escaped from this crazy world I've been thrown into. It's all so calm, so peaceful. Maybe it isn't really an illusion after all. The soft, warm breeze fills my lungs with the scent of earth. I can sense some magic in the air. Very old magic that must have been keeping this place intact for centuries. Will this place crumble too? When the rest of the cathedral falls, will every trace of it just disappear? All of it will be lost and forgotten, no memory left behind.
Kainu.
Damien's voice tears through the soft murmur of the forest. I unthinkingly stop in my tracks to look back at him.
We're going awfully far. Aren't you worried we might not be able to find the way back?
Feeling annoyed at his insecurity, I open my mouth to offer a dry remark, but then I realize his point. Behind his shoulders, I can't see the door anywhere in the distance. But I don't want to go back and run into the other two so soon. Besides...
It's all right. Carl said the separate sections of the cathedral are just connecting strangely, right?
This part probably connects up ahead. Let's keep going. Doesn't the forest air feel nice after being in those tunnels for so long? Damien seems unconvinced, but he rolls his eyes with a faint smile as he moves to walk beside me. You know, you're not very good at keeping your guard up. What's that supposed to mean? You know, this place is full of strange magic and apparently murderous spirits, but here you are, frolicking along like a happy woodland critter. Not to mention that we almost just got our heads lopped off. Nothing that's happened today has fazed you, has it? It's not like that. It's easy to forget about all of that in a place like this, you know?
I only have good memories of being in the forest, and I'd rather be out here. Even if it's just an illusion.
Damien's mouth tightens into a thin line. He seems uncharacteristically ill at ease, but I'm not sure why. If you say so. Turning his head away from me to gaze up towards the dark blue sky, he lets out a soft exhale.
The ones who built this place must have been worshippers of Ephesus.
Ephesus, one of the triad of gods in the Refidom's pantheon. The tales say there used to be more gods, but they abandoned us when the great kingdom crumbled so long ago. Obsessed with magic and using it to its absolute limits, I can't believe the structures lasted even this long without imploding.
A menagerie of power-hungry freaks, if you ask me.
Do you follow any of the gods?
I ask the question unthinkingly, my curiosity getting the better of me. Damien looks taken aback at first, but then glances down at me with a slightly strained expression.
Not any longer. Once, I was a member of the Tyrian Guard.
Tyrian Guard? You mean that's what you're a knight of? Was a knight, yes. But most of the eastern cities worship Tyros in the first place. The capital is certainly one of them. The capital.
The capital? Wait, you're from Sidon? What's it like? Is it really as huge as they say? What are the festivals? Do you...
Watch it. My foot hits something and I suddenly hurtle forward. Just before I hit the ground, something catches me, supporting my weight.
You really are more trouble to keep around than you're worth, you know.
Damien's arm protectively grasps around my waist from behind. You have got to be kidding me. Of all the times to be clumsy.
It's so dark out here. I can hardly see a foot in front of me.
I tiredly mutter out an ungraceful excuse. But he said he was from Sidon, the former capital of the Old Kingdom, and the biggest city of the East. It's a place we only talk about in adventuring tales, the stories you must have. Clearing my throat, I hastily straighten up and pull his arm away, brushing myself off. With that smirk he's wearing, I almost wish I'd fallen on my face. You're from Sidon? Why didn't you tell me before?
I didn't think it would make you literally fall over yourself trying to ask me about it.
If I'd known that sooner, I would have brought it up a lot earlier. Enough blood rushes to my head to wash away all thoughts I had of questioning him. But as expected, he doesn't give me any time to retort before motioning my attention towards something on the ground. Look what you tripped over, damsel. Tearing my furious glare away from Damien, down to the leaves below, I glimpse what he's gesturing to. A very small stone urn, attached to a necklace-like chain, sticking out of the grass. I bend down to pick it up, and its heavy weight makes my eyes widen in surprise. Wait, I recognize this. The holy symbol of Ephesus.
Ah.
Aha! So I was right. Suppressing the temptation to throw the symbol in Damien's face, I examine it in my palm. The worshippers here must have worn these. Well, I doubt they played catch with them. Brushing my thumb over the necklace, I admire it a bit more before Damien reaches around to put his hand on my shoulder, nudging me forward. All right, let's go. You don't have to push me around all the time, you know. Then we never get anywhere now, would we? Damien waits patiently for me to move forward. So after giving him a disgusted look, I start heading through the trees again after setting the necklace back down. It's too heavy to bring along, and I don't think it'd serve any purpose now. We only have to go a little further through the dark branches before coming to a large stone structure that looks oddly similar to the one we came out of. The door is slightly ajar, so I tentatively push it inward. It opens with a long creak into a dark corridor, but that hardly fazes me at this point. I step inside and Damien closely follows after me. I jump around to see that the door is now shut. Not from the wind, but from Damien, who looks considerably more relieved now. Chilly out there, wasn't it? I guess. Why is he acting so odd? There has to be a reason he was so uneasy the whole time we were outside. Question him, stay quiet. Let's question him.
Are you afraid of trees or something?
His smirk gradually fades, and he raises his eyebrows at me with a tilt of his head to one side.
Come now. You can't tell me those woods didn't make you all tingly either.
Who knows what could have been lurking in that place? Although he still speaks in his usual playful manner, there's something off about the way he won't meet my gaze. Unsatisfied with his evasive answer, I narrow my eyes in suspicion. You could say the same thing about anywhere in the cathedral. Damien's expression shifts to a more complicated one, his brow knitting as he turns his head away.
Don't you have better things to do than pry into my affairs?
You don't see me questioning you on everything you do. His tone is more disheartened than angry, which makes me feel a pang of guilt. I guess I am being pretty nosy. Still, his behavior is so odd that I can't just outright ignore it.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to know if there was anything I could do to make you feel more at ease.
Damien's expression softens slightly. Oh my, I have a little saint on my hands, it seems. Despite the mocking nature of his words, his manner is lighthearted. I don't think he intends to be mean. That's the first time I've ever been called a saint. And it'll probably be the last. I sigh good-naturedly at his words, and he lets out a content chuckle. A moment of slightly awkward silence follows afterwards. Then, as we continue down the corridor, Damien clicks his tongue impatiently, exhaling a heavy sigh.
That place makes me remember a time I'd rather not be reminded of.
It may be silly of me, but I can't let my guard down in there. Why didn't you just tell me that before? He casts a sidelong glance at me, brows knitting. I didn't want you to think I was some quivering pansy who can't deal with trees. Well, that's what I was starting to think anyway. Damn, I suppose I'm not great at hiding that kind of thing, am I? You're really not. Sorry. A sheepish grin comes over Damien's face as he runs a hand through his hair, clearing his throat. Well, with you around to protect me, I'm sure I'll be fine.
I'm not sure if I want the responsibility of looking after you.
I promise I'll stay close. Not entirely sure how to respond, I fall quiet again, glancing down to study my boots as they thud softly on the stone floor while walking. After a little while, Damien takes a deep breath and puts on an optimistic grin. Well, let's look on the bright side of our current situation. Maybe now we'll have a chance to lose that crazy mage-hater and his fire-obsessed friend. With luck, by the time they figure out our way was the right way, we'll be long gone from this dreadful place. Well, it'd be nice not to worry about having a blade stuck in my back every time I turn away from Coralt. Exactly. And by association, I'm quite in danger of that as well. Best to keep away from that stabby fellow. He might. Before Damien finishes his sentence, he freezes. I can't figure out why at first, but then I hear it. Faint voices in the distance.
Seems we might not be so lucky after all.
We both take off running down the hall towards the voices, which don't sound far off. As we get closer, I can make out the sound of familiar bickering.
I'm telling you, we should wait for them. It's the safer option.
Listen, Cole, I'm not waiting for that brat and his idiot friend to...
Excuse me? Within a moment, both of their expressions melt from anger into surprise. Call seems less shocked than Coralt, who raises his brow disbelievingly at us. Soon enough, though, it furrows into his usual glare. Oh, great. And that's exactly how I feel about seeing your angsty face again, you self-absorbed monkey. I imploringly glance over to Call, who just shakes his head with a despairing sigh.
Both of you are slowly whittling away at what's left of my faith in humanity.
Call's unfocused gaze shifts over towards me abruptly. But I'm glad you both made it here. We can't afford to waste any time moving forward. Coralt snorts scornfully and turns on his heel, heading towards the only doorway in the room. His men follow behind him closely, casting suspicious looks back at the rest of us. Call glances at me, I glance at Damien, and Damien glances at Call. In a wordless, reluctant agreement, we band together and follow Coralt into the narrow hall. Before I pass the threshold, though, I pause. That sense of being watched. I feel it again. I turn back to scan the room cautiously, trying to sense any kind of movement or hidden shadow. But it seems entirely empty. I swear, this place is really starting to get to me. Shaking my head, I turn back to the hall, hurrying after the footsteps that are slowly growing distant. Maybe I'm starting to crack, but something definitely isn't right. I don't know where or when it'll happen, but I can sense something about to break. I just hope I'm ready for it. Oh, okay, so I guess that's the end of the demo then. So, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I might come back and finish the rest of the game later, but it won't be for quite a while. I've got lots of other games that I'd like to play, lots of other demos, another demo from Argent Games that I'd like to start at some point soon. So I hope you guys enjoyed this demo, and if you want to see more videos from me, then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.